your hands in the air. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
mixing sodas with the beer. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
so why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here.
Throw your hands in the air. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
mixing sodas with the beer. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
so why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here.
You got
Hey everyone, your social media platform artist and the host of the great YouTube channel. I'm your host, your one and only Dr. Do here, everyone. How are we on this wonderful Sunday evening right here, everyone? Today we're going to be doing a history video today, y'all. Another history video about another dark figure of modern day history. He was considered one of the most evilest men on earth back in the 1979 to early 2000. He was considered the man who had killed millions of his own people by using weaponry like chemical warfare. We're going to be talking about Saddam Hussein. Do you guys know who Saddam Hussein is? That you guys might want to hear about this. You guys don't know, I will tell you about it. Saddam Hussein was a former dictator of Iraq, but from 1979 to 2003, he was the leader of a party group known as the Ba'ath Party. Something which you guys might want to hear about this group. All right, y'all. So we want to know about how he managed to rise in power and how he lost all of that grip of leadership under his rule. So before we get started, if you guys new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel. Hit notification down below. Comment down below. See what you guys think about my opinion about Saddam Hussein. If you guys want Dr. Do merch, go to comment below to get you guys drink wares, hat wares, shirt wares, and also glass mugs as well. And also to make sure you guys represent the whole entire channel of the Dr. Do kingdom right here, y'all. And also you guys want something that will give you enough energy, enough protein, and hydration to keep you guys last all day and night on this wonderful summer right here, y'all. Well, go to Beat Chart to give you guys Dr. Do protein powder and energy powder and hydration powder. All right, y'all. Give you guys some. All right, I will put them down on the description down below. All right, y'all. So we can get ready for this moment. All right, y'all. So without further ado, let's get the party started. So, Saddam Hussein was born in 1937 in Iraq. Alright? He wasn't a nice child in his family. When he was young, he used to be a bully to everybody, like all over his whole entire childhood life. Including some of his parents were abusive to him in his childhood as well. He didn't have a normal wonderful family life in his time at all. He grew up mostly in poverty family as well, having been able to make a name for himself and also trying to make himself big and tough than other children around him. Because of this, when he grew older, he got into major fights and also big huge events that happened around when he was younger, including the whole entire rise of the whole entire Arab conflict that's about to happen in 1948, when Israel became a nation in the Middle East with other Arabic nations and went to war with Israel in 1948. And so the conflict continued on to this day. Alright, Saddam Hussein also sees conflict that happened around him when he was young. He also claimed the fact that his leadership in his country are not doing their job of showing the world that there are military powers. He also claimed the fact that there have been rising military powers, including factions, different far left and far right groups. Alright, and then in the 1950s, he joined a Arabic group called the Ba'ath Party, a group that believes that the whole entire people in the Arabic world should unite under one leadership in the party. They are considered a one-party leader group faction right there, who believe that there should be one party group leading the whole entire nation. So he joined the Ba'ath Party when he was young. But in 1957, Saddam Hussein's first attempt was to kill the leader of Iraq, the king of Iraq, but failed to take him out. Eventually, he got shot in the leg, and then after that, he managed to escape Iraq and left to Egypt. His name became a big, huge political games in the Iraqi world, including the members of the Ba'ath Party as well. But however, the leadership in the Iraqi rule came out overthrown by around 1950 and replaced in a dictatorial leadership. All right, and then the Ba'ath Party itself had waited for their time to shine in the 1963 July 17 bloody coup that happened in Iraq. The Ba'ath Party managed to overthrow the president of Iraq and the prime minister of Iraq, and took power in the whole entire Iraqi military and government. Ever since then, that Saddam Hussein managed to return back to Iraq after the news about the coup that happened in Iraq, which made him happy. Also gave him the chance to show his leadership and all of his political views as well. So he had a cousin who is the leader of the Ba'ath Party and not the leader of Iraq. His cousin, Bahar, what I would say his last name. It's hard for me to say his name, but I know his last name, Bart, right there. All right, he and his cousin been in power from around the late 60s until around the 70s, when Saddam Hussein gained more power and gained more following as well. Eventually, leading to his cousin decided to back down because of stuff that Saddam Hussein has, or have someone that his cousin knows right there. So in 1979, Saddam Hussein had become the leader of Iraq. In his first days of being the leader of Iraq, he brought all his members in a movie theater and made a speech about it. He made a speech about there are members of the group that are traitors who plan on trying to overthrow my leadership, my nation figure right here. And I would not let nobody overthrow me in some sort of coup right there. So he decided to say the names of each member of the political party. Once your name was heard, you will be taken out of the theater, and you know what happened next. He decided to take out members of each of his own party members of the whole entire Iraqi military group as well. It also led to the eventually turning Iraq into more of a military power, because in his leadership of Iraq, he wanted to make his whole entire nation big, strong, and also be like a utopia that he always wanted for Iraq. Alright? And also been taking out some party members and those who were against him. From 1979 on that time, he managed to wipe out almost every member of the party group, including groups that escaped from him. But however, Saddam Hussein used members of his Iraqi spies to go to countries like UK or to America to take out members of the anti-Saddam groups. All right, you know the story about what happened to this man whose wife was killed by Iraqi members trying to attempt to assassinate him, but however they failed, and eventually a couple days later he been taken out as well. He also he could hurt his own family member, like his brother-in-laws. He had two brother-in-laws, son-in-laws, were in a shed. All right, they were hiding from Saddam and his Iraqi Republican guards. They were harmless. They didn't have the weapons and stuff. But however, Saddam armed soldiers executed them while firing back because they didn't have weapons. But Saddam had his whole entire military made a fake news about his son-in-laws were attempt to kill him and his whole Thai leader members as well. This is what happened if you are a family member of Saddam, you are not pardoned for everything at all. See where I'm going? But eventually, in 1980, a year later after he came to power, and also a year later after the Iranian monarchy was overthrown by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Alright? Eventually, this led to Saddam worries about not just in his country, but outside the country, because he had an enemy that would consider them a threat: Iran. Iran and Iraq are enemy to each other because of another religious conflict that had been happening for 1,000 years, known as the Sunni-Shia conflict, with both groups believe that one side believed that Muhammad's friend should be the leader of the Islamic groups, and you got the other side, like the Shia, believe that Muhammad's cousin should be in power because he had the same blood like Muhammad's. Do you see what I mean? And the conflict never ends, making Iran the only Shia nation in the world that is also considered a threat to the people of the Middle East. With Saddam sees this revolutionary as a threat to his dictatorship. So what he did in 1980, he launched a war and invasion against Iran in a war known as the Iraq-Iranian War. From 1980 to 1988, over millions of Iraqis and Iranians, including Kurds group that are ethnic groups, were killed in the conflict. During that conflict, Saddam Hussein had been using chemical weapons not just on Iranian forces and civilians over there, but also on his own people, including torture and brutally punishing them if they do not cooperate with Saddam Hussein and his military group as well, including the fact they also made some false confession they make them say and stuff, and also forcing them to watch their family get hurt and tortured and being murdered as well. Saddam Hussein was very, very brutal, including a village that was home of Kurds, men, women, children. He ordered his own military to fire chemical weapons onto those people, killing hundreds of thousands of Kurds people. It was sad and tragic for what happened to the Kurds people right there. Eventually, in 1988, Iran and Iraq have not won the war, but they didn't lose, they didn't won. But however, Saddam was embarrassed that his whole Thai military did not achieve any goals at all. He lost over hundreds of thousands of his men in that conflict. And also, you know what else got even worse? At the aftermath of that war cost Iraq a lot of money. They were closer to being in bankruptcy. They were having financial problems. Saddam Hussein had wasted all their money and their resources on the war against Iran, which led to Saddam trying to find ways to make more money and need more resources. So by the 90s, Saddam Hussein had plans to invade Kuwait. He believed that Kuwait is considered part of Iraq. He always believes that throughout his whole entire life. And he also believed that Kuwait is not strong enough to face them off as well. So in the 1990s, Saddam Hussein and his Iraqi Republican Guard invaded Kuwait, causing a big, huge catastrophe, or the biggest conflict, not just with Kuwait, but you also caused a bigger conflict with other Middle Eastern countries. You got Syria hating you, you got Saudi Arabia, you got other nations as well, even Turkey as well, including Jordan. You got Egypt as well considered Saddam Hussein invasion of Kuwait as a terrible mistake. He also decided to act for the United States during the administration in order to serve George Bush the first, not George Bush the second. Get what I mean? Had been threatening Saddam Hussein, withdraw your forces or else there will be punishment on you and your military. And guess what? Saddam Hussein refused to accept that order. Yeah, he refused to accept that order, and guess what? He decided to go war with the whole entire Western coalition, even with the Middle Eastern country as well. Eventually led to the war, the Gulf Wars, right there, everyone. Yeah. This is where Saddam Hussein believes this right here. Saddam believes that his military and his army will be trained enough to face off against the United States, because he believed that the Western coalition cannot win against him in his terrain. Look what he believed that it's going to happen the same way what happened with them in Vietnam War. Remember the Vietnam War? Yeah, he believed that it's going to be the same way that happened in the Vietnam War. All right, y'all. But however, there's one problem. The Western coalition had better technology than Saddam Hussein military, because when you think about it, the new generational tanks that came out, such as the new Challenger, the newest generational tank, like the Abrams tank right there, you guys are not ready for that, because you also on your side you guys got T-72 tanks, which became obsolete around the late 80s, because you haven't had newer equipment, because you've been getting cheaper equipment from the Soviet Union. All right. And on your military, it consists of conscripts, including former members of Iranian military as well, including some Shia groups as well. And so, the war between Saddam Hussein against the Western coalition begun, but he lost a lot of manpower and his field and tanks. He lost over thousands of his tanks, including millions of his own forces against the Western coalition led by the United States, which led him to losing Kuwait and not lost the war. He then got overthrown in the aftermath of the war. But however, in the aftermath of that, the United States and the Western nation decided to continue doing some military bombardment on Iraq, including sanction on Iraq as well, on their resources, including their military equipment as well, which got even harder for Iraq to muster up military equipment over there, right? And so until eventually this led to a lot more conflict with Saddam and the United States, because by 2001, on September 11, 2001, the Islamic group attacked the Twin Towers and the Pentagon on that day, taking the lives of over 3,000 men, women, and children on that day in New York City. All right, y'all. Rest in peace to the men and women over there. Eventually led to some big, huge conflict that about to happen, because under the new leadership, George Bush the second, I will go by those names for them. All right. So George Bush decided that his administration and whole entire members of the whole entire U.S. government should invade Iraq. Do you know why he believed that the U.S. should invade Iraq? Well, here's one: weapon of mass destruction. Yeah, you mean like nuclear weapons? He believed that George Bush believed that they had nuclear weapons. But the UN checked that, and they said they don't have weapons of mass destruction. But however, George Bush ignored that. In 2003, U.S. and their Western allies invaded Iraq, forcing Saddam Hussein forces to take on military coalition against the United States, which led to massive damage on Iraq and Saddam Hussein. With Saddam Hussein had no choice but to abandon Baghdad and went to hiding since then. Eventually, he's been hiding for both past couple years. The United States and the Western allies have been trying to search and hunt down Saddam Hussein with any luck at all. Eventually, a couple years later, the United States forces were patrolling a area in Iraq. They found a house and a little hole in the ground with a plug-in electric air conditioner and some sort of air hole would help somebody breathe under the ground. So they decided to see who under there, which eventually led to the capture of Saddam Hussein himself. Saddam Hussein was captured by the U.S. military, which led to him to losing a lot of retribution right there. So in the aftermath of that, he was trial in court for the crime he committed from 1979 to 2003. Took the lives of over millions of Iraqi men, women, and children. He doesn't take accountability of his action at all, and the court decided to send him to the gallows, where many Iraqi men and women watched as he was taken to the gallows, and people were celebrating his death for good reasons. People were suffering because of him and what he did to his own people. It was tragic and stuff. But however, it led to many conflict that happened in the Middle East, including bad leadership over there to this day. That man should have not done that to his own people. If he wanted to be a great leader, he could have been nice to them, but no, his greed and his lust for power drove him to hurting his name, his reputation, his political gains, his popularity, and also including the fact that taking people's lives. You think that hurting people, terrorizing your own political member will get you more support and love? No, you do not do that. This is why I don't support war at all. No. We should all be in peace, alright, as a united people. The people, I don't like how wars need to happen and stuff. Also, for the fact that war can cause a lot of lives, but we can't stop it. I wish that war could have ended anytime, like no more war and stuff, being united. I believe that we, the people, should be united, not against each other. Doesn't matter who you are, alright? Doesn't matter the way you look, the way you are, and who you are. Doesn't matter what kind of culture you have, alright? And also history. As long as you and this person are friends with each other and you don't care what people say about it, alright? We should all be at peace, not war itself. And there you have it. This is my history video that I'd like y'all to watch about, alright? And like about it. And thank y'all so much for watching this video. I hope y'all have a great day. Please subscribe to this channel. Hit notification down below. Comment down below what you guys think about my opinion about Saddam Hussein. And I hope y'all have a great day. And see you guys next time.